starting out, how is the rise of digital-led practices changing the way customer success teams operate today?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thanks, Kevin and Roman, for having me on the podcast today. I'm excited to talk about this topic because it's something that that I think I've personally been working at for a number of years, right? Because it's hard, and I think we're all on that journey, and we're all at kind of different points in our own personal journey with digital CS. But I think the key thing to remember here is that digital CS isn't new, right? I know it's very, very topical right now, and there's a lot of companies and people talking about it, and I'm glad we are, because we haven't been talking about it enough, in my opinion, over the last few years. And we're talking about it now really out of necessity, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But digital interactions with customers and prospects as a concept, right, it's been around for many, many years. So we're talking about some stuff now that I think we should have been talking about years ago. And I think actually some people have, to their credit. There's been a lot of good work that has already happened in the area of digital CS, particularly with companies that have a more product-led go-to-market motion, right, where there aren't necessarily teams of CSMs that are interacting with customers, but instead it's a sort of a product where you sign up online and then interact with it through a trial and etc. And you don't typically have much one-to-one interaction with members of the team. In that sort of model, you need digital. Right? It's the only cost-effective way to interact with customers. It's the only way that really works. So I think the product-led growth companies have been more sort of digital early adopters, if you like, and now companies that have more of a sales-led motion are having to also think about what digital looks like in their world. So I don't think it's a new thing. I think but it's come as a necessity because of the economy, right? So it's something that I think a lot of CS leaders have been talking about for a long time. Hey, we need to do more digital. We can scale our teams more efficiently if we have a digital strategy. But now, because of the economy and what's happening in the economy has obviously been very hard for many, many people, and I want to just recognize that. Yeah. I think, though, also for the CS profession, for the discipline of customer success, it has actually been quite helpful in that it's focused CEOs, CFOs, boards, investors, etc. on, hey, we get customer success, but we don't really like the way that it's being done right now. There needs to be a better way to do customer success. There needs to be a more efficient way. It needs to be more impactful. It can't just be about adding more humans to a customer success team and having more one-to-one conversations. So in that way, I think the economic macroeconomic environment has been helpful. But in terms of a digital-led type of campaign, if you just look at our friends and colleagues over in marketing, they've been doing this for decades. Like how they've been thinking about how do you take an individual, not a company, an individual, and move them through a journey using digital touch points to drive some sort of outcome, whether it be signing up for a trial or buying a product, whatever. And they've learned how to use data to tailor that journey and personalize it based on what they know about that individual and also the actions that individual takes, right? Did they open that email or did they not? When they opened it, which link did they click on? They clicked on that link. That tells us a bit about what they're interested in. So now let's send them down a slightly different path for the next stage of the campaign, right? So they've been doing that for a number of for many years. I mean, into sort of decade now too. Digital CS is really the customer side of that. We need to now think about how we do that when somebody has already signed up to be a customer of our product. And what I think is also really interesting is we've got another channel available to us that the marketing team in the acquisition phase doesn't have, and that is the in-product experience, right? Yeah. We are literally able to talk to the customer right where they are using the product, and typically like only a click or two away from the action that we want them to take. So we've got a really exciting new channel, which I think, personally, I think this is a massive opportunity for customer success as a discipline, and I think we're just really at the beginning of that journey.